Although edited for television, tonight's thriller contains scenes of suspense and violence which may be unsuitable for young viewers. Parental discretion is advised.
State-of-the-art Japanese animation.
We should do our, since it's a new show, new movie, we'll do a non-spoiler review
Okay.
in the beginning, and then
Dan.
we'll do a little warning.
I'll try my hardest.
Non-spoiler.
Because last episode you said, "Oh, I don't want to spoil it," and then just like 5 seconds later you're like, "Spoil the ending."
Spoiled
So,
I did? Me?
well, I went back and listened to it. I was like,
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not doubting you. I'm more like I just want to confirm you're talking about me.
"Oh yeah." So
Okay.
yeah, I think you were conscious of I think something
Not
you were going to
spoiling
say. I'm not spoiling it, but then it was just like we had to get into it.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult for me.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to talk about it without spoiling it, I would just watch, like the first 20 minutes of this movie and then talk about that. And then,
Well,
It's brand new, Dan. You got to think about the listeners here.
I'm
Can you hear me
visualizing
chewing?
Christella and how much she cares.
well, we can get into like half the movie and not
Yeah.
really spoil too much because there's not,
Yeah.
there's not a huge like someone dies and it throws off, that's the end of the movie.
It's true. It is the first movie of a trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to? Dan, you want to seg us in?
Yeah, damn it, the quick segs.
What are you feeling?
He's going to be
Yes.
like, okay, guys, now we're going to talk about Gundam Hathaway on Netflix.
You got a whole script. I know it's not your style, Dan, but
Yeah. So
We are now going to talk about Gundam Hathaway.
Yeah. There we go. So Netflix has the latest and greatest iteration of Gundam. It's Gundam Hathaway.
Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, Dan. Full title.
Hathaway's Flash, I guess it is.
Flash.
It doesn't
and-
say that on Netflix.
Well, maybe it should.
Oh, shit.
Maybe it
Netflix.
should.
Did you get the
Netflix.
license for
Yeah.
Flash?
Yeah, they only paid enough for the Hathaway,
Mhm,
not for the
Mhm.
Flash.
mhm,
It's cheap bastards.
mhm, mhm.
But no, so this movie takes place 12 years after Char's counterattack, and it was kind of like rubbed me the wrong way how in this movie in Hathaway's Flash
Are
they
we
const-
already getting the spoilers?
Yeah, Dan,
No.
come on.
No.
Let's warm us up a little bit.
Give us a plot.
Give us some-
It's not
Okay,
Give us a
so
plot.
spoiler. You didn't
No,
even
no,
know what
no.
the fuck I was gonna say.
I thought you
I
were
was-
gonna like talk about Char's counterattack a little bit, tell people what the like
No, I
why
was
they
gonna
should
say
care.
that in Hathaway's Flash, they constantly call it.
Did you just say
Char's
Anne
Rebellion.
Hathaway?
No, in
Oh,
Hathaway's Flash. They
that's my only
constantly
Anne Hathaway joke.
they
Okay.
consistently refer to it as Char's Rebellion, but it wasn't a rebellion. It was a counterattack. That's the name of the motherfucking movie.
Oh, that's the name of the
Movies-
motherfucking
his
movie.
movie isn't called Char's Rebellion. It's
Now we
called
got to put
Char's
an
Counterattack.
explicit tag on this.
Yeah, so it just like hurt my ears.
Hmm.
My
Char's
eyes.
Rebellion. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you
That's
mean
the
his
only way
counterattack?
I know of
Do you
this
mean
now.
his counterattack?
I was like, I'm pretty sure it was counterattack. I don't even know any Gundam.
Yeah. But yeah, do you really? Well, yeah, it's a shame, Amelia, because this movie is difficult to correctly track and contextualize without having at least seen Char's counterattack.
Okay, yes. I would just like to say all of the names of things and places and of people. No idea what was happening.
Yes.
I will say that
They
that
throw
this-
a lot of things out there. Like, oh, I should have written them down. But like Menaskman and Guastafos and places and Gundams. And I was just like, I accept everything.
This was part of the plan, though. We wanted someone fresh,
Yes.
to just go into this film with no
Mhm.
large general conceptual idea of what, like, you understand conceptually what the movie's about, but
Yes. But
not necessarily
specifically,
contextually.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and I quite like that about Hathaway's Flash. It continues the recent trend of the Gundam franchise. You know, Gundam Unicorn was very good about this too, where it actually references back to previous Gundam shows in a way that Gundam shows of the 80s and 90s were not adequately self-referential, in my opinion. And I think Hathaway's Flash and Gundam Unicorn as well greatly benefit from being self-referential and feeling like the previous events of Gundam actually had an impact in the world of Gundam in the universal century, that these things were meaningful historical events and not just random things that happened, random events of no consequence.
With that said, I think the movies, starting with the OVA, The Origin, I think, like, going back to our Year of the Gundam, Dan, and talking about what is important to watch, I think if you were to watch all of these in sequential order, I think the movies are kind of like the original Gundam movies trilogy, the Zeta Gundam trilogy, skipping Double Zeta, which I just started again, and going into Hathaway could be like a nice primer to get someone into this.
Yeah. I mean, I think technically all you would really need is to watch Char's counterattack to get the immediate references that are apparent in Hathaway's Flash. But to really, better understand the context and the feeling of Hathaway's Flash, I do think that you would need, that you would want to watch the original Gundam movie trilogy, the movie trilogy adaptation of the original TV show, then Char's counterattack, then Hathaway's Flash. And I mean, I think you could skip watching Gundam Origin, like if you were going that route, but why would you want to? Because Gundam Origin is the best thing of the Gundam franchise. So
Amelia. Amelia did not watch Char's counterattack.
The prospect of watching 4 movies in 1 week, I was like, no.
That's a lot to bite off.
No, it is all Gundam. I don't care about politics of a fictional society.
oh, maybe you should.
Well, I don't even care about politics of my own society. Which I definitely should care about.
Gundam is happening. Gundam is real.
Mm-hmm.
You might
It's
wake
real.
up and you might find a Gundam outside our apartment,
That would be cool.
and they're defending us from the space invasion.
Or ruining an entire park for no reason.
Oh, that damn park.
Yeah.
So what is this
Spoiler
movie?
warning.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning.
Now is the spoiler warning. We didn't
Spoiler
really
warning.
get the plot.
Spoiler warning. Jollibee is the only fast food franchise.
Jollibee number 1.
Jollibee.
Jollibee.
Jollibee is the only fast food franchise that survives over the next 1,000 years.
You know, my friend Christian, his dad like owns Jollibee.
What?
Yeah.
Owns a Jollibee location or owns this large
Franchise.
multinational corporation?
I think it's a franchise. I think he
Yeah.
owns a bunch of them in where's that place called? Philippines. In the Philippines.
Yeah, because it's around Southeast Asia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I
he
saw
owns
Jollibee
a
and I was
bunch
like,
of dog-
holy shit, this is my friend's dad's business.
so it's a real company. I was about
It
to
is
look
real.
that shit up. I was
No,
like, this
it
looks
is real.
Yeah,
like a
it's
real thing.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
real fried chicken fast food restaurant. And it's pretty good. It's all
I've
right.
never been because
Okay.
Dan's never taken me to the Philippines.
Yeah, where did I have it? I feel like I had it in
Oh, in Croatia or in Egypt or in
yeah,
Brazil,
close.
maybe.
I had
or...
it in Dubai, and I
Oh,
think I had
Dubai.
it in Malaysia as well, but I
Damn.
can't remember clearly. But yeah,
Love
I've
that.
definitely had it before.
Mm. Who did you bring on your trips with you? Not us.
Yeah. No.
I'd love to try a Jollibee.
Yeah, well,
Malaysia.
we should fucking go, man. Like I'm always, why do I bring nobody? It's not because I'm going out of my way to not bring people. It's because a lot of times I'm just working on my own schedule with my own priorities. But yeah, let's fucking go. I want
I
to
want to
go.
ride a camel.
Yeah, I like riding the camels. I love camels. I have kind of mixed feelings about riding them, I guess, because I'm a big guy. I'm not sure they really want me to ride them, but I did it once, nonetheless, just because I at a certain point I just couldn't resist anymore. I was like, dude, I really just want to be on the back of this fucking camel.
Do you know what animal is not in Gundam Hathaway? A camel.
Yeah,
So it's in space mostly, right?
no, it's all on Earth.
It's half in space, half on Earth.
Say
fight in
3/4 of the
space.
way.
They fight in space, and they fraternize with very beautiful blonde ladies on Earth.
Yeah, well, that was a large overarching theme of Gundam Hathaway.
They
That
don't look like Kudelia. I'm just saying.
yeah, it was a lot more like teen romance in a way that the Gundam franchise has largely moved away from over time. But it is interesting. Yeah, I didn't know this until after the fact, or maybe I kind of knew but hadn't really processed it, that this upcoming Gundam Hathaway trilogy is based on a trilogy of books by Tomino, by the original writer and director of the original Gundam, the guy, the mastermind of Gundam. And he has all sorts of teen drama and teen romance throughout Gundam and Zeta Gundam. It's just not really done well. I
would agree with you.
Yeah, like it's
okay. You're coming from Tomino's romance writing. Okay,
yeah,
that's what we're doing
he
here.
pays a lot of lips. He pays a lot of lip service to these relationships, but he seems to struggle with giving them the attention and the natural ebb and flow that would make them realistic and make them entertaining to watch. It's just kind of like weird, like all the romances are just kind of weird in my opinion.
Yeah, my favorite romance is between Camille and Four from Zeta Gundam, but it's so awkward, and people don't behave this way. Tomino's been renowned for making character relationships really unnatural.
Yeah,
my favorite relationship in Gundam was Mikazuki and the one guy that I like, but I don't remember his name.
The leader.
Yeah, who's
the boss?
What's the leader's name?
I don't remember either.
Damn it! It might as well be Kamina. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my favorite Gundam relationship is Mikazuki and killing people.
Yeah, but it's important to point out that it's not written by Tomino, so maybe that's why it works so well.
Oh, damn, coming for him.
Yeah, Hathaway's Flash on the one hand has very bizarre romance but on the, but in context makes, like, why is Gundam suddenly going back to the teen drama angle that it has largely abandoned in the last couple of years? Well, because this is an adaptation of an older work. And when we think of it in that context, I actually think that this is a lot more reasonable and more entertaining as teen romance, teen drama goes, in comparison to what we saw in the original Gundams and in Gundam Zeta.
Yeah, and I also found that this was long considered impossible to adapt, quote unquote, and that's even in the trailer.
Really?
Yeah, they even Sunrise was like, no, we're not going to do it. There's the
Sunrise was like, I gotta put all my money in my idols right now, okay, guys.
Well, I think the complexity of the mobile suit designs, from what I understand, and I guess maybe the I haven't read the novels, but maybe they're not that not coherent, but like maybe they're not as well written and adaptable for
anime, for moving
form.
picture,
Yeah. So
so it's interesting to me that the mobile suits in the novel would be too complicated to adapt, and so far as there's not pictures of them, so
but there's probably a lot of scientific situation, a lot of scientific jargon in there that explains exactly how the mobile suit would work.
Oh, there were designs for
that
him.
could be.
There were designs for him. They had someone design him. This guy who did Zero Meyer, if you look at his work, there's a lot of angles and offshoots and triangular shapes.
I'm just gonna say right now that I'm gonna make a lot of wild, bold claims about Gundam because I've only seen Iron-Blooded Orphans. But I'm just saying the mechs in here, I couldn't tell them apart from original Gundams. They look the same to me. Dan, don't look at me like that. I'm just saying.
From the original Gundam.
Gundam, they look like Gundams.
From the Gundam that I put on the screen.
Look similar
at
to
our
me.
Panel.
We got tiny little heads. Shoelaces. Got big old feetsies.
They look what? They look complete. So I was gonna say I couldn't. My guess was that you were gonna say I couldn't tell any of the Gundams apart in this movie. And I was going to say, yeah, I agree. I think the two, Penelope and Z, are like, I don't like how those machines look.
Oh, I thought they looked awkward. Pretty cool.
Dude, why are we always on the opposite wavelength? Good God.
I thought one of them looked like a fucking stingray in the ocean, and it was all like flappy. It kind of looked like a fish. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. We're in the water. They're in the submarine. They go up under the water into the thing. They're water. They're the water Pokemon. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that you say that, because that's my shock. And like the original
one
Gundam
looked like a normal Gundam.
The original Gundam just looks like a giant metal man.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like a stingray.
Oh,
what?
Well,
but you just said it didn't look like a man.
Who am I looking? What's his name? The one that Liam Aim, is that his name?
Yeah, what a fucking
Liam
name. Lame Aim.
Lame Aim.
Lame
Aim. Whatever his name is, whatever Gundam he was piloting looked like normal, straight up normal Gundam, and whatever Hathaway was piloting looked like the Stingray. Looked like a little fish. Looked like a tropical jellyfish stingray situation. Starfish.
Geoff, comment.
These are the most uniquely designed Gundams I've seen in a while. I think Turn A Gundam had some really interesting designs. But
Turn A was cool.
Yeah, these are like stars away, planets. What's the word? They're leap years away from the original. But I can see maybe like if you were to see them in the light, and the color combinations, I guess, are very similar, but silhouette them and they're not really like each other at all. But you can see the evolution of these mobile suits. Like, I mean, obviously, like when you start watching them, you go, oh, okay, like this was taken from that design, and that design was taken from this. Like even like the Sazabi Gundam from Char's Counterattack, you can kind of see that implemented in some of the mobile suits, like the Cyclops looking eye, you know. But yeah, mechanical, so that's a whole nother offshoot of otakuism, right? Like mecha design is in like Gunpla, right? That's all separate, and people get real, like they can get real into that shit. I know you know, starting out in my Gundam journey, that's how I started. I just built Gunpla, and
hell yeah.
and I guess, you know, each series has a unique design. I think within the UC century, it's more not cookie cutter, but you know, the alternative universes, they take more liberties with how things look, like in G Gundam, with, you know, Sailor Moon Gundam. But yeah, just I think I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I think, you know,
this is UC Century 105. Just saying.
105. We've moved away. Yeah, 12 years, like Dan said, 12 years after Char's Counterattack.
Oh, okay. You mean his rebellion?
His rebellion. So you get like these remnants of Zeon, Neo Zeon, if you will, and some Federation piloting things, that mech designs.
I like the guy with the pumpkin on his head.
Yeah, are we allowed to discuss
yeah,
Are we allowed?
Let's talk about what
Can we
this
talk about
movie's
plot
about
for a second? I'm trying to segue to plot zone.
Okay. Yeah, what do you guys want to sum up the plot?
I'm tempted just to read the goddamn Sunrise synopsis.
So we start out in space, the final frontier.
Yeah, we start out on a passenger shuttle that's full of Fedi diplomats.
Fedi, shit, the
Fedi
fucking
diplomats
Fedi
and
bastards.
VIPs. Yeah,
is that it? That's the right one, right?
Yep, they are going down from space to Southeast Asia. It is communicated to the audience that in order to get on this shuttle, you have to be a VIP. You got to be connected in some way. And on the shuttle, we are kind of centered around three main characters. We have Kenneth, the Fedi officer, who.
Book him.
Oh, you didn't like Kenneth?
He made a comment that I did not like.
Really? What comment?
He said, Gigi, you should just fuck me because you're a goddess and you need to give that goddess energy to me so that I can win in battle. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Why don't you grow a penis and use your big ass penis to fight the battle? Just saying.
Kenneth's a fuckboy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I in context, that didn't bother me. I chalked it up more to like, Tomino's bizarre manner of trying to write relationships. It's like, does Tomino actually love and feel love from the people around him?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but I understand what you mean. I don't disagree. So we got Kenneth, the Fedi military officer, who Amelia doesn't like, but in general comes across as a like relatively measured and reserved and thinking kind of guy.
I think that's the definition of a fuckboy, though.
Well, that could be. I'm not a fuckboy, so I'm not really sure. Then we got Gigi, the mysterious blonde girl, who is clearly supposed to be the hottest, most attractive, most alluring individual that all the men seem to just be drawn towards, and Gigi seems to just see right through the facade around her and understand everything right off the cuff. She's very sharp, she's witty, she's intuitive, she reads situations very, very well. And then we have our beloved Noah Bright, who was
Hathaway.
Noah Hathaway.
That's what he said his name was.
Yeah, Noah Hathaway, whatever. Well, his
Right?
dad was
Yeah, his dad.
dad was Captain Bright.
I know, but that's his fake name.
Yeah. So Noah Hathaway's on that, and we remember Noah Hathaway as being the whiny little kid in Char's Counterattack that
We
stole
remember
a Gundam thing, stole a mobile suit, flew out, watched his crush, his love interest, get blown up. Then he like shoots kills his acquaintance in a fit of fury. And they keep referencing that situation in the Gundam Hathaway movie is like, oh, you managed to kill a bad guy. And I was like, he did. I remember, like, I watched that movie 2 nights ago and I thought he killed his friend. So I'm not sure like why they're acting like he's some like great military hero. He like stole a fucking mobile suit and managed to blow up his acquaintance. He blew up somebody on his side. So why, like,
Yeah, that's what I remember too. I was confused by that.
yeah, I mean, maybe that's just a bit of in universe historical revisionism to like save face, you know.
Good point.
I don't know. He kind of seemed like a Shinji to me. Like he was all whiny and stuff about it.
Yeah, he's kind of like that. You know,
I'm
from,
so
from the
brooding
jump.
and like I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not lovable and like I just gotta go do my thing.
So we're introduced to these 3 characters and their kind of quasi philosophical conversations on this shuttle. Then the shuttle gets attacked and hijacked by terrorists. These terrorists, you know, jump on, and their intention is to hold all these VIPs for ransom, get ransom money from the Feddies, and then use that to fuel their revolution.
Mhm.
And Kenneth and Noah have a bonding experience because they beat back the terrorists. Then they land, and Gigi is so impressed with Noah that she invites him to spend the night with her in a very swanky hotel. And Noah is given a Fetty infinite credit card. He just like
that's what the rappers call their black card.
Yeah, he's given a black card.
Mm-hmm.
So he can just, no limits, a limitless card.
No limit hold'em.
Yep. And
Stunner.
So, yeah, they go to this hotel and nothing too spicy happens. Gigi is like trying to hit on him, but Noah manages to dodge. He says, away with the thought, and he goes outside and takes a walk. And then Gigi is like, okay, that's cool. And then she goes out with Kenneth instead. So it is revealed that Noah is now the leader of this large terrorist organization. Terrorist
party? What was it called?
Whatever, political revolutionary party.
Mafty.
Yep. But Noah is Mafty. He is the leader of this large scale revolutionary political group.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to point out that this is not really a spoiler. This happens within like 15-20 minutes of the story.
I feel like it happens like immediately.
Real quick. It's real quick.
They start talking about Mafty, and then he's all like, Noah's all like, oh my God, what? Don't talk about that. Wait,
well,
what?
Gigi figures it out right off the jump. That's how we, the audience, come to know, is because, you know, Gigi.
Can you call her Gigi?
Gigi, sorry.
Okay, cool.
Gigi just reads Noah and reads the situation so acutely. So she just measures his response to the terrorist situation and goes, oh, you're the leader of Mafty, aren't you? Does anybody know? And he's like, oh my God, please don't tell anybody. And she's like, yeah, I won't tell anybody. I don't really care.
I'd like to think that it is the new type ability, that it's not fully disclosed, or like maybe it's hinted at.
That was
my mind. Yeah, is that what you're thinking?
That was my assumption as
well.
Okay.
Say that again. What?
So new types.
The magazine.
Well, that's where the magazine gets the name from.
Really though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real.
For real. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the evolution of mankind through the I guess the traveling through space, right? Or leaving Earth and gaining the other part of your brain, the cells that you use that you don't use on Earth, you use in space.
Yeah,
that's how they explain it anyway.
Did you know that the human only uses like 20% of our brain? What if we used like 100% of our brain, dude?
Oh yeah, like in Lucy.
Yeah.
Lucy in space.
The reason they called that anime magazine New Type is because if you read this magazine, you will just get so big brain and smart that you'll just understand the world around you.
Damn, shit. Can we bring that back then?
Yeah, for real.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I got us off track.
So there's a lot. There's a couple, I guess two major things that I thought were very awkward or like not good about Mafty and about
Oh wait,
Noah
so
and
basically,
Mafty.
so the whole entire Hathaway story is basically Mafty is trying to rebel against the Fetties. Is that right? Fetties? The
Yeah.
Fetties? Okay. And yeah, that's it. That's basically
Well, Mafty seems to have taken upon Char's
rebellion.
Char's belief system that humanity must abandon Earth, go to space.
And they're seen as a terrorist organization.
Yeah, once everybody is in space, then we will all be equals. We'll all grow to be new types, and we'll all be, like conflict will end. There will be no more large scale political tension because everyone will be on equal footing, rather than the way things are now, where Earth is trying to keep a firm grasp on the space colonies because it needs resources from the space colonies in order to survive, because the Earth is crumbling environmentally. And we see kind of the internet has led me to believe, we see the stages being set for Gundam F91, because when we see the Fetty police forces going around checking everybody's Earth cards, like checking to see if there's any illegal residents on Earth, and if you don't have a visa to live on Earth, you can get forced out into space. So the space colonies just keep taking all these poor people and the destitute and the refugees from Earth. And yeah, Mafty says this is not sustainable in the long term. And the way they're going to get everybody into space is by assassinating all the political elites of the Federation, like killing all the prime ministers and joint chiefs or whatever. But
I mean, that's like dumb brain stuff.
That's
you know what
so
I mean?
stupid.
Yeah, that's dumb brain stuff. That's like, oh, I'll just take out a bunch of my enemies, a bunch of people that are high ranking in this political party, so that I can overthrow the political party with my own belief system, which is like,
yeah, it makes no sense to me whatsoever, the logical flow from like, we kill the like top 10 government officials and then everyone has to abandon Earth. Like, they would just appoint new government officials.
Exactly.
I think they were supposed to sign a bill or something that would make it a police state, like the Philippines or the Earth or whatever. And I don't know if this was described in the movie, but I think in the novel it is. I found this site of a list of things that probably went over all our heads, and that's what was listed, or like that this is why they wanted to assassinate.
I want to force everyone to leave the United States, so I will assassinate the president, and then everyone will just leave the United States. Like, what? We would just elect another president. Like these huge institutions are not so like they're not fixed on one individual. Like there's institutional power and institutional momentum beyond any given individual. You can have one or two people leave even at the top and life just continues forward. I also thought that it was very interesting to see the cab driver talk with Noah and discuss his apprehensions about Mafty, that like, it'd be great for everybody to go into space, but that's not going to help me pay my, buy me groceries tomorrow.
Relatable.
Like Mafty's talking about stuff that's going to happen in 100 years, in 1,000 years, but that doesn't help me next week when my rent's due. I thought that was a great angle to all of this.
I think about that every day.
Yeah, it's true. So, all right. So they get to the hotel and Noah goes and meets with some of his Mafty crew. and
Secret. Okay. In secret.
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 His Mafty people want to.
I'm saying that redheaded girl. What kind of character design was that? She was running all weird.
Oh, I didn't notice.
She was like extremely elongated. And I was like, what kind of
She's
human
the
is
slender
this?
woman.
Oh my God. What is happening? Did you notice how everybody in this movie kind of like floated as they walked? It was very strange how people walked in this.
I only felt it was strange in the very, very last scene.
Okay, that was specifically.
Yeah, there was one scene like that. Yeah,
it was just like
yeah.
When he's going up the steps to the Mafty like headquarters, he's like going up the steps. He's like hovering. There's no like dunka dunka dunka. He's just like a funky.
The leader of this organization, like just take Gigi with you or don't, but like
that's my issue with the movie. That's my whole issue with this movie, because a lot of times he brings up the fact that he's like hung up on Gigi. He's like, as soon as he gets on the pilot to pilot the Gundam, he's like, oh, I don't know if I'm just like really rusty on my Gundam piloting or if it's because I love Gigi so much. And I'm like, what do you mean? You've literally told everyone who has asked you that she means nothing to you. You haven't even shown any bit of interest in this woman besides like accepting her crazy like antics and like going along with it. And I'm just like, wait a second. Well, you haven't shown any interest. What do you mean you're hung up on Gigi? Like,
yeah, he has attachment issues because of Case from Counterattack.
But she doesn't even look like her though.
No, but this idea of like getting attached to someone and then you let them go and then they die, and well, I guess it sounds kind of silly because now he's an adult. Like how the fact that it's followed into this long, 12 years later, makes you wonder like, okay, well,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Well, there's like weird. PTSD.
Essentially.
The whole thing with Quest is fucking weird too. I mean, it was weird in Char's Counterattack. And
you mean Rebellion?
I mean Counterattack.
She's only 12 years old in that movie.
Who?
Case. Quest Case.
What?
The girl with the green hair.
They have just a glimpse of a flashback to a famous scene in Char's Counterattack.
I know. Was that done well or not?
I thought that was done very well.
Very well.
I thought that was done
okay,
very well.
because I was like, bitch, where is this movie?
So in that moment in Char's Counterattack, Quest, Noah, and Amuro by coincidence run into Char in a field, and Char and Amuro start duking it out and having a fight, and Amuro gets a leg up on him, and then Quest kind of jumps into the middle of the fray and prevents Amuro from shooting at Char and goes like, no, don't be mean to Char. Char's right. And then she just like leaves and joins Char and becomes Char's ace pilot. And it's like so dramatic and so impulsive, which is a very Gundam way of thinking about life, to just be like, I will run away from my dad and run away from like the life that I live and the people that I know and the stability of living in this like normal ass life and civilization and government, to join a random ass rebellious terrorist group who I think I agree with philosophically,
and become a Gundam pilot.
Yeah, and become a Gundam pilot.
Well, the last part
Char goes, 12-year-old girl that just decided yesterday you agree with me. Please take my ultimate Gundam super weapon to defeat all of my enemies.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not a
it sounds like
pedophile.
Kudelia.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not, Lala was the first, wouldn't be the last.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So and this is all part of the joy of Gundam. I mean, these things don't make any sense. And in some ways they emotionally resonate, and in some ways they don't. But if I wanted a story that made sense, I would watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Oh yeah, that's the one you'd watch.
Gundam is about emotion.
Yes, agreed.
I think Noah needs to get his emotions in check. Okay, He needs to make some decisions here.
Yeah. It's weird that he.
This was borderline harem. All the girls were into Noah. Okay, even at the Mafty base. What's her name? Giselle Esmeralda, the redheaded girl.
You thought all those girls were vibing with her?
Yes, the girl with the pigtails, the girl with the pigtails with the half jacket and the sexy bikini top, and then also the girl who was hanging out with him at Jollibee. She was very flirtatious with him.
Oh, I didn't get any of that personally.
No, okay. Well, that was happening.
Well,
and then she got super excited when he got to base, and she was like, "Oh my god, Matthew's here!" And then she like runs down. Borderline harem, just saying.
Yeah, fuck. But I guess, the same way I don't see this shit in my life is I don't see it in Gundam either.
What were you going to say, Dan?
No, go ahead, Geoff.
Well, just going back to Gigi and her, like the entire scene of them escaping the hotel, to me was one of the best parts of the movie.
Oh yeah, most engaging.
Very engaging. Just the scale of in which they are traversing the streets, and you have mobile suits landing next to them, and buildings falling on them. There's fire everywhere. It's like complete chaos.
Yeah,
and this movie is not. It doesn't have a whole lot of mobile suit battles per se.
One mobile suit battle.
One big mobile suit battle.
Yeah.
Towards the end, but I think I like these scenes a lot. It's like War in a Pocket, those types of scenes.
Yes.
And you see the human fatalities and destruction and how it affects the on a micro level. Like how it affects people.
I was watching it and Steven was like half watching it with me, and he was like, "Wait, has any of the Gundams fired into the crowd yet?" And I was like, "No. They're just like landing near them and blowing things up near them." He was like, "Oh, okay." So like, I'm gonna assume that that's something that happens in a lot of Gundam, where like there's like civilian fatality.
Yeah, there is. It wasn't as explicit.
There's a lot of implied civilian fatality.
And I was saying, well, the civilian fatality was basically with the two hotels that they had bombed. Beforehand, before the situation that he came into. But I was just like, that scene was like iconic for me because up until that point, it's just basically like figuring out who's against who and who's trying to like cover up things from other people. And that's the point where it actually got like kind of like engaging, and I was like worried about everybody. That's like the point where I was like, oh, I care about these characters and I want to see them like escape and like what they're going to do after.
Yeah, we can thank the director for that. Morrissey. He worked on Ergo Proxy apparently.
Oh shit.
And this other movie, Genocidal Organ, I watched the trailer for it. It looks sick. It's like this
I've heard of it before.
What year? That's old, right?
Older one, yeah.
No, it's within the last like 4 years, I think.
What?
Really?
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks very similar to this movie.
That definitely sounds like an 80s sci-fi sci-fi anime.
Look
it up real quick.
That seems like I might have a VHS of that in my collection.
Well, Geoff's right. 2017 film.
Damn.
Okay.
Totally over my radar. Under my radar. Over. Just
over.
Between my radar. No, like I watched the trailer for it. I'm like, why haven't I heard of this film? It looks really good. And I think apparently like this movie is has the same sense of atmosphere, and it's a thriller. So I think I want to check it out after this.
That sounds like I would want to watch it.
Possible review.
Yeah.
OnlyFans review.
Coming soon.
And we got to point out the music. It's got your music, Dan, from your boy Sawano.
Sawano.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sawano?
Attack on
Sawano,
Titan
sorry.
fan.
Yeah,
Fame.
but I
Who?
didn't.
What? Attack
Attack
on
on
Titan?
Titan fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
which one?
The TV series did the
Yeah.
music.
First one? Second one?
Yeah. I think
All four.
I think all
all of them.
Oh,
Yeah, he did the music for Promare as well, and he did the OP for the new Legends of the Galactic Heroes.
the new one.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, OP and Edie. Yeah.
So there's a new Legends of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not bad, but the original.
Heard it here first, guys. It's all right.
But I didn't think Sawano's work in this movie was. I mean, it was fine, but it didn't leap out to me like some of his other stuff does. Like Promare, opening scene of Promare with that big triumphant song, and it just like like a cityscape shot, like that really sticks with me. I'm like, oh, dude, that with that song going, I'm getting so fucking pumped. You know, it's like, it's cool. No, there wasn't anything like that.
It gets
you
the job done.
You didn't get fucking pumped when you were watching this movie?
Nah, I didn't get.
Damn, Sawano, you better step up your game for the next movie. Just saying. Dan said so.
I'm just saying, I wasn't pumped.
I was pumped during the scenes when all the Gundams were almost landing on people. Got my blood pumping. I did fall asleep within the first 20 minutes. And then I had to set a timer so I could take a nap and then wake up refreshed.
So from fresh eyes, right, Amelia?
Yeah.
This you going into this movie. Not a whole lot of context.
No,
what'd you think? What was your overall impression of this movie, just as a one-off?
If it was only one, if I didn't know that there were going to be three of them, I would be like, well, where's the rest of it? Because the entire movie was leading up to the battle, the final battle that was in this movie. I don't feel like it was like leading up to that. That was just, to me, felt like the beginning of everything, kind of, you know?
Yeah. Agreed.
Which it is. So, you know, I don't know. It's pretty good. I'm engaged. I'm just saying right now that when they were saying the names of people and places, no idea. Do I think that you need to watch all of the other Gundams that you need to before, what was it, Char's Counterattack?
Yeah.
I definitely think if you have not checked out any Gundam and you were thinking about getting into Hathaway because it's on Netflix and it's really accessible, I would try and find that movie first, honestly, because you get like a lot of context. I would assume that you would get a lot of context from that movie, based on what you guys say. Not that you couldn't go into this blind, but I was lost some of the times, and I was just like, you know what? I accept my fate. Okay, I accept my fate. I'm doing this for the pod. It's okay. But as a standalone movie, you know, it was pretty good. Pretty engaging. Gigi was beautiful. Couldn't tell if she was a real person or an android. Just saying, because for I situation.
Ooh, she's getting some Vivi vibes.
Yeah, Vivi vibes up in there. And I've also been watching Nighthead 2041, which is like a 3D animated, fully 3D animated show about people who have psychic powers that look like robots. And they have Vivi style eyes. So I'm just like, wait a second, this girl an android or no? Is that in this universe or no? But it was good. I like to see Jollibee. You know, that was fun. That was a fun ride. I like the civilian stuff more than I like the I'm a captain and I have to go and save all the people with my Gundam. I do like the Gundam battles. But there was a scene where they cut straight from an interpersonal relationship between Noah and Gigi, and then straight to a battle, straight to like a simulation, like they were doing something and I had no idea what they were doing, and I was like, you know what, I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm just gonna ride it out. I'm gonna ride this wave out and see what happens. But a lot of the technology is really cool, like for I don't know, for a Gundam, compared to Iron-Blooded Orphans. They had like in the beginning when the people were, I guess when Mafty was trying to hijack the spaceship, is that's like a spaceship, right? That they were hijacking. That wasn't just like a normal plane because they were out in space, right?
Yeah, it was a
So
spaceship.
so they have like a little like capsule that like attaches itself to the top of like the hatch of the spaceship, and everybody like falls in from there. I thought that was really cool because, you know, that's like space travel. There's not like, I don't know anything about space travel, but I'm gonna assume that was like really fucking cool ass technology, you know. And then there's this other scene in the middle where they were launching a rocket from under the water that I completely did not understand the physics of, because I do not understand how launching a literal spacecraft from the depths of the sea would work. But
interesting, right?
Right. I was like, you know what, I'm just accepting everything that I see. I'm not going to read too much into it.
Yeah, why do you think that wouldn't be possible?
Because there's like fire, right? You need to gain a lot of like heat to push something up. And if you're creating I don't understand why you would want to create a fire underwater.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but if you're trying to hide hide everything prior to launch, you could hide it underwater easily enough.
Think about cruise missiles that are fired from submarines underwater. It'd be
but
like
they don't
the same
have
idea.
People.
True. Yeah. But
like
the weight of that would be really be a lot. But in the future, man, things are possible.
Future.
I think, I don't think that's so impossible.
I was just like, why are we launching a spacecraft from under the ground and in the water from the middle of the ocean?
What's the word when you're melding metal together?
Welding.
Welding. Yeah, welding. You got deep sea welding, you know, that uses fire.
Yeah, but does that I'm just thinking about
tiny fire, but
it is a tiny fire, and you would need a lot of fire to launch a spacecraft.
Yeah, but I think you can do it.
Okay.
Proof of concept. The welding's a proof of concept, I'm arguing.
Okay. All right.
Well, let's talk about space colonies, because that's really far-fetched in comparison, I think.
I'm glad this isn't
launching
called
Axis large asteroids. Yeah.
I'm glad this isn't called like 2047, you know, Hathaway 2047, because like in 20 years, bitch, we are not going to be there.
Yeah, this is a whole nother calendar setup here.
Yeah.
Make it even more believable.
So space colonies.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Kudelia lived on one, just saying, right? That's where she lived, right?
Yeah.
That's where the boys were on a separate planet, right? To gather supplies. What were they doing? What were the bloody orphans doing?
Mining, right?
They were mining, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the incentive to go to the space colony in this universe? Is it to only live in space?
Yes.
Well, that's what the Federation wants you to not want you to think, that you can only live in space, right?
Yeah, I think the idea is that the space colonies in UC are a little bit.
That's universal century for those of you who don't know.
Yep.
Because
in smart. Universal century timeline, the space colonies are like little heavenly slices, you know, because they're a controlled environment, so they can have the utmost and the most particular planning in city development and natural stuff, the environment. Yeah.
So for those of you who grew up in the 90s, that's your Xenon girl of the 21st century, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. But then we're led to believe that on Earth, the environment has become so degraded that it's very difficult to produce agriculture, produce energy, produce manufactured goods, and that we're just importing large amounts of this kind of stuff from the space colonies, because the space colonies are able to like have a beautiful lush forest, you know, that is perfect and will never be destroyed and will just like grow and have biodiversity because we can scientifically create the biodiversity we want.
How big are these space colonies?
They're big,
massive, right?
Yeah, they're quite large. So we see in Char's counterattack, they go to a neutral space colony, and we see a kind of like what looks at a casual glance like an old-timey European city, set with a beautiful flowing river, a lush countryside, you know, lush forest. I mean, it looks like a little, like you just took a knife on a landscape of old-timey Europe and went and just picked it up and put it in a little capsule and closed the capsule and launched it into space. So it looks very, very nice. And we are told, Amuro tells us that there are 5 million people living in this city. And it just looks very, very nice. And
it's like Londondian or something like that.
Yes.
To effect.
Yep.
Londondian.
And we are
all right.
We are told that Earth is not nice by comparison. But this is something, you know, like Gundam tells us this constantly, but it never really shows, in my opinion, that the Earth is really suffering or that they're really importing this massive amount of goods from the space colonies. Like that we are just told continuously that this happens, but we never see with our eyes that the Earth is like, we never go anywhere on the Earth and it's just like global warming has destroyed this forest and now it's
it
desert,
looks normal,
you know. Yeah, exactly.
Looks normal to me.
Or like we're never shown that like the polar ice caps have melted, now all of North America is underwater. Like we're never shown, we're not even really told any details like that. We're just told, well, the Earth is basically inhospitable at this point because of pollution.
I mean, they kind of tell us that already. Just saying.
Yeah, ain't that the fucking truth, man? Hannah and I were talking about that you like, is it even right to have kids anymore in this world of, you know, global warming and oncoming natural disaster?
Well, if you want to have someone to take care of you when you're old, then yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is the question of Mafty versus the cab driver, right? Like, should I be worrying about 1,000 years in the future, or should I be worrying about, you know, next week?
Well, wait until they drop a colony on us.
I gotta side with the cab driver on that one.
Yeah, I kind of do too, to be honest.
Okay, you can get into spoilers now, Dan. I think we've covered a lot of bases here.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Is there really that much more to say?
Plot wise, yeah, not a whole lot.
That's about it.
Yeah, we get the final battle at the end, which no one dies, so there's no spoilers there.
What is that kid's name? Lame
Aim.
Which is the stupidest name. They come up with the dumbest names in this universal century. But yeah, like that battle was okay. I thought I was a little let down by that specifically. But everything leading up to it was great. I got to point out too that the beginning of Char's counterattack, we have Hathaway, I believe, he's leaving. What was it? My mind's gone blank. Hathaway's young, right? He's taking off from Earth to go into space. And then in the beginning of this movie, he's coming back to Earth on a shuttle. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting parallel between the two movies. And I don't know if that was purposefully done in the novel or what. But
yeah. So in the movie, Noah makes the point that he didn't have to return to Earth on that particular shuttle. He just decided to out of hubris because he wanted to look the federal ministers in the face before he had them all executed and assassinated. I was like, why are you the
backfired.
leader? Why are you the leader of this giant organization?
Yeah,
Like,
you're
you
so
sound like-
wishy-washy.
yeah.
You're like, I don't know, Beach. I don't know if I like this person. I don't know what plane I'm on. I'm just on a plane, okay?
Yeah, he just seems like not someone that I would follow.
So fucking funny though, that man's wife that gets killed in the first scene, she like is
Oh,
so upset and
damn.
fucking runs
Runs
into a
into-
pole.
Yeah, that was cool. That was good. That was really good. I thought that
Oh,
was hyper realistic because
Oh
that's the
my
kind of shit
God.
that really happens.
I was
Mhm.
on the floor. I was like, okay, I can get into this movie.
Yeah, the whole terrace perspective angle kind of it resonates a little too strongly. It's still relevant, and it's written 30 years ago.
Mm,
But some of these ideas, themes are still relevant.
mm.
But yeah, I don't want to get into that necessarily. But yeah, just pointing it out.
Mhm.
I really like this movie. So this is the second time I've watched it, and I rewatched Char's Counterattack before watching this, and I think it really makes it more impactful. But I don't know. I think watching it in a dark room kind of immerses you into this world, and it just makes me more of a fan of Gundam. Like there was
Yeah,
a period in
bitch.
my life where I was like, I'm done with Gundam. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to watch.
Mm.
I miss G Gungusta. G
G Conquista. G Reconquista. How do I
Gungusta.
know? How do I know that?
I can't even say it.
G Reconquista.
Gungista.
Bitch, you better be watching this in a dark room because there are so many dark scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was true.
Absolutely. The animation is stunning, though. It just that I think that they exceeded my expectations with that, because 3D and 2D animation, mixing the two is very difficult, as we have seen before.
To do right, to do well enough,
to do it well,
that it looks seamless.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next movie, or the next two, I should say.
Yeah, I'll watch the next two movies. This did not get any particular reaction out of me one way or another, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I'll watch the next two. Yeah.
I feel like I've already invested an hour and a half. If all of them are an hour and a half, there's like kind of no reason not to, especially because
what if the next one's 2 hours?
Well, I guess I'll suck it up. But I feel like it's one of those things where like we haven't really gotten into anything yet. Like I feel like they've only scratched the surface of like what the timeline of everything in this story is supposed to be. So
it sets everything. It sets the next two movies up.
I definitely think it's a good stopping point, though. You get a lot of like setting up of characters and like how they feel about each other, and then like you get your one Gundam battle in, and there we go. Maybe the next two movies will have more Gundam battles.
Yeah, I didn't think this was hurting any for not being as Gundam centric as it could. I thought it worked well for being a character driven movie like this. And the next one, I'm assuming, has got to be action packed, because we leave with Noah and the Mafty people on a boat to Australia to go link up with a bunch of other revolutionaries, a bunch of Mafty posers who are currently in armed conflict with the Feddies. So they're going to bolster, to send reinforcements.
Tempted to read the novels if I can find them online.
They're not in English. I don't think they've ever been translated.
Damn.
That's what.
Where's the
Wikipedia
license
told
for
me
that?
last night. Where is the license?
Anybody? Anybody? How much does it cost to license a novel?
Yet.
So do we think? So yeah, by the end of movie 1, do we think that Gigi is going to end up with Noah or end up with Kenneth?
Well, in the very beginning of the movie, she says to Kenneth, "You should be a little bit more like him," and then like not nudges at Noah.
Yeah.
So I think she's taken an interest to him since the very beginning, And I think
Mhm.
she just is playing with Kenneth because she knows she can, because she knows what kind of person she is, you know.
She's hot.
Yeah, she is. She does a lot of flipping with her hair. Her hair is like all over the place, girl. She need to get some kind of like gel or some mousse or something to keep her hair down.
I did think that it was interesting in the opening scenes when Gigi gets excited talking to Kenneth and her hair kind of comes up in zero gravity and gives her a little bit more of a dramatic look than when Kenneth gives a kind of disappointing philosophical answer. Her hair comes back down and she's like, oh, you're just some boring guy, aren't you?
I mean, really though, he is just a boring guy.
He's a Fetty. What do you
Saying.
expect?
Just saying.
Yeah, what do you think, Geoff? Who do you think she's going to wind up with?
Well, she's gonna end up with Hathaway, and then she's gonna die dramatically by the hands of Kenneth.
Oh shit.
That would
just be like in Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah, that'd be a very Gundam way of doing this.
Yeah, and then she becomes a part of Hathaway. He can channel her I don't know the T, whatever that thing was spinning in the end of Char's counterattack.
I know that. Yeah, that when I rewatched that also caught my attention. I was like, I don't remember that as clearly from when I first watched it, but like, what the fuck is going on?
Human souls flying through space.
Oh yeah, you know,
in the form of a T.
Also, their fucking hotel room.
Oh, that's
holy
wanky.
Fuck.
Nice.
I want to stay there.
With an infinity pool. Are you joking? Are you joking? I don't swim, but I'd fucking swim in that all day. Are you joking?
Yeah, me too.
Fuck.
There's one like that in Hong Kong or Taiwan. There's a famous large building, and you go out in this pool, infinity pool, and you look over the city. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but it sounds
probably in Dubai, and Dan's probably going there. Just saying.
He stayed there.
And he doesn't even know it.
And the part of that statement that's true is they probably do have a very knockoff version of that in Dubai. Yeah, when Noah kind of blows off Gigi to go on a walk, and I'm like, dude, I would be fucking hip to hip. I'd be attached at the hip to that girl in that fucking nice ass hotel room with a fucking limitless credit card. I'd be like, yo, let's fucking hang. Like, what do you want to do? Because we're doing it.
Yeah, well, Kenneth went to the club and got his dance on. Did they sleep together? Do you guys think they slept together?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think Kevin's not a Kenneth. Kenneth.
He's Kevin. He's Kevin from now on.
Yeah.
Kenneth is not a seal the deal kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not, because he says blasphemous stuff in front of other people. He's one of those people that like always talks a big game, but then like when it comes down to actually like what do they call that? What do they call it? It's not sealing the deal. There's another cooler term for it.
Commitment.
That's not it, but it's
not the word.
It's not score. It's what's they call it? All the rappers talk about it. He's not he's not a sealer. What do they call it? Closer. A closer. Sorry.
You're closing the deal?
He's not a closer. He can't seal the deal. He can't close on that business opportunity.
That's a shame. Guess who guess who plays Hathaway? Guess what a voice actor plays him? And in what anime?
Reiner, Attack on Titan.
Oh, very close.
Oh shit.
Very close. Kensho Ono plays everyone's favorite character.
Levi?
No, everyone's hated character.
That's Reiner for me, dog. I'm just kidding.
The Beast?
Flock.
Flock, damn.
Fascinating.
And
Very interesting.
And Giorno. Giovanna from JoJo's.
Yeah.
I gotta watch JoJo's.
JoJo's Part 6 coming up.
It's coming up.
When is that?
Jolene.
Embarrassing. I'm just kidding.
You can catch us every Tuesday at the karaoke bar.
I was gonna say at Oda Cafe.
Okay. Do we have anything else to say about Gundam Hathaway?
It's called Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, so just saying.
Okay. Do we have anything else to say about Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway's Flash?
I say go watch it if you like mechs, because I think they need to make a comeback. Giant robots need to make a comeback. Yeah, great film. I enjoyed it a lot. I loved it. I watched it again.
Very fun watch, even if you've never seen a Gundam before. Some of the water animation and the walking animation, a little weird, not gonna lie, but overall very enjoyable.
I'm on a different slant. I was gonna say it's definitely worth a watch if you're a Gundam fan, but if you're not a Gundam fan, I wouldn't bother.
I mean, if you got a podcast and the other boys that you're doing the podcast with, the Gundam boys, you can watch it.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little biased, but yeah, I'm a little biased. This is like 20 plus years in the making here. So
yeah. I can't deny you your Hathaway.
Okay, so
do you want me to close
our
out the show?
podcast?
You want me to close the show?
I am Dan
Oh, okay.
with
Hey, Dan.
Amelia
Hi, that's me.
and Geoff.
That's him over there.
that's me.
We're a podcast, and we're done.
All right, that is how we're doing it the rest of the time we do our podcast.
That. Only that. That was amazing.
I was gonna say, why didn't we get Audrey on the show with us?
No, we probably should have.
We should have. We hope you enjoyed that episode of the Otaku Host Club podcast. If you want to be a part of the conversation or participate during episodes, hop on into our Discord server. The invite link should be in the show notes of wherever you're listening to this on. Or you can head on over to our website, otakuhostclub.com, where you'll find links to previous episodes, as well as our Instagram at Otaku Host Club, and our YouTube channel, where we put out video versions of episodes after they hit Spotify. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.